Hello, Miss Anita. Warm greetings and welcome to our conference.
It's me, Anita.
So we are looking forward to hearing from you.
Thank
The
you.
podium is all yours. You can share your screen now. And for our participants, he is going to be presenting on topic quantification of metamorphopsia using M-chart among patients with macular diseases. So you can begin now.
Good afternoon, everyone. The topic of my present research topic was effectiveness of M-chart in measuring metamorphopsia in maculopathy. The rationale of the study, as we know, metamorphopsia is a subjective symptom associated with maculopathy, which is often difficult to quantify. We have been assessing metamorphopsia using M-chart in clinical practice, but as we know, we have this results in high false negative error, and one of the most limiting factor of the M-chart is that it is not possible to quantify metamorphopsia using M-chart grid using our original traditional M-chart chart. Conversely, M-chart, which was developed by Matsumoto et al. In Japan, it is believed to be highly sensitive in detecting early metamorphopsia, but evidence, enough evidence is still lacking. The aim of my study is to measure the effectiveness of M-chart in detecting metamorphopsia. The study design of my research was cross-sectional, and it included 43 subjects with maculopathy and 26 control were taken. Among 43 cases of maculopathy, 11 were of diabetic macular edema, 10 were of BRPO associated with macular edema, 8 were of age-related macular degeneration, 6 were of CSR, 4 were of macular scar, and 3 was of macular hole, and similarly 1 was of pigment epithelial detachment. In mean age of the 43 subjects was 55.72 with standard deviation of plus minus 12.26, and whereas the mean age of the subjects 26 subjects were 51.69 with standard deviation of 10.05. Metamorphopsia was assessed using M-chart, which we are doing in our clinical practice, and similarly it was quantified using M-chart. As you know, M-chart is new for us. I'm going to describe some thing about M-chart. M-chart consists of the 19 dotted line with dot interval ranging from 0.2 to 0.2 degree, as we have seen here. In case of patient having metamorphopsia, straight line is seen as the curved line or distorted line, and as the straight line is replaced with dotted line and dot interval changes from fine to coarse, the metamorphopsia decreases, and finally the patient sees the dotted line as straight line. Here in the example, you can see this. For example, this patient has the metamorphopsia, and this is the straight line as distorted line, and as the dot interval are increasing, distortion decreases, and finally when the dot interval is 0.4 degree, the metamorphopsia is completely disappear, and therefore for this patient the vertical metamorphopsia is written at 0.4 degree. And we can with M-chart we can measure vertical metamorphopsia and horizontal metamorphopsia, which is a good aspect of this chart. And in this case, this is the vertical metamorphopsia. The M-chart can be rotated 90 degree, and similarly horizontal metamorphopsia can be measured, and the procedure are same as this. And M-chart, actually there are two types of M-chart. First one consisting of single dotted line that passes through the fixation point. Here in the middle we can see the fixation point, and the length of this line is 20 degree, and the dotted line are of 0.1 degree, and the fixation is 0.3 degree. And the second type of M-chart is actually used for the patient with central ecotoma, like in the case of macular hole. The results of my study was the rate of detection of metamorphopsia in macular disease using M-chart was 73.7%, which was the sensitivity, and the specificity of the M-chart was 100%. And using M-chart grid, the sensitivity was 55.8%. As you can see, there is a huge difference in sensitivity between the M-chart and AMSAR grid and MCHART. This table shows the result of the fundus examination. Here, the positive and negative means the presence and absence of maculopathy. This shows that this 100% shows the true negative rate, which is fundus examination also revealed negative metamorphopsia, not present of metamorphopsia, and the MCHART was negative. And 76.7% was the case where there was fundus maculopathy as well as MCHART resulted in positive test. Using the test of AMSLR grid as standard, odds ratio of MCHART was found to be 2.6%, 2.6, which means that the odds of detecting metamorphopsia using MCHART is 2.6 times the odds of detecting metamorphopsia using AMSLR grid, with a confidence interval of 95%, and lower limit was 1.03 and upper limit was 6.6 with p-value of less than 0.03. This is the table showing the result of AMSLR grid test and MCHART. Interestingly, we found that horizontal metamorphopsia was positively correlated with best corrected visual acuity, and the beta coefficient was found to be 0.325 with p-value of less than 0.07, whereas the horizontal metamorphopsia was not correlated with visual acuity. Here, this graph shows the scatter plot is a scatter plot diagram, which is showing the regression line between the vertical and the horizontal metamorphopsia, where the variance between the vertical and horizontal metamorphopsia is 0.24. Overall, we can conclude that we found MCHART to be much superior to AMSLR grid in detecting metamorphopsia in macular disease. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Paudel. As you have talked in great details about the effectiveness of MCHART in detecting metamorphopsia in maculopathy, you have also compared it with the gold standard of our clinical practice, that is AMSLR grid. And according to your findings, I believe that was MCHART was having 2.6 times better odds at predicting maculopathy than AMSLR grid. That is an indeed very interesting finding. The MCHART that is very rarely used in our clinical practice. This finding of your research will instigate our participants to use MCHART in our clinical practice as well. Maybe it has encouraged us to use this tool at our disposal in our clinical practice.